Greetings, I am Frank McDonald, Instructional Officer for Secondary Science, and welcome back to part 3 of our 5-part series of pooling and prepping data for grouping maths. In this video, in video number 3, we will be talking about turning the spreadsheet that we've exported from Eduphoria to Excel into a table, and why that is beneficial for us and why it's beneficial for Sky coaches and admin and for teachers. So let's get started. I'm going to open up my spreadsheet here. That is not what I wanted to do. I'm going to put this back here, and I'm going to open up my spreadsheet right here. There we go. So here is the spreadsheet that we have pulled from Eduphoria. This is the student learning or the learning standard report, and you can see our standards are here. I've changed the student names to protect the innocent as well as their IDs. I have not messed with the teachers. We know who you are, so we are going to keep you there. So here is, for this video, I'm going to show you how to format and set it up as a table and why that's important. So a couple things. It's more of an Excel type thing, lesson than anything. So here is what I do. It can be a little tedious, but for weirdos like me, this is relaxing. So here's what we need to do. So we need to make a table, but in order to do that, we need to ensure that all our titles are in the same row. So you can see here that we have cells that are connected, and these are 2 and 3, but all these here are in 3, and then more and more there. So someone is at my door, but that is not important now. Here we go. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to highlight these 2 cells, which are made up of multiple cells, and I'm going to go to this button, which is the merge and center button. I'm going to click on that, and you can see now it's separated into single cells. But I want our titles to go into these cells, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these 2 titles, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to cut these, and you can see this dotted line is telling us that these things have been cut. I'm going to click onto this cell here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit paste, and now they've moved them from here to here. So that is part 1. Here we go. So that we need to continue to do that. Here are some more cells that are in multiple spots, so I'm going to highlight all these. And remember, you can tell that there are multiple cells. If we look on the number column, you can see that they take up they're in row 2 and 3. So these are multiple, and I'm going to right click on this, or I'm going to click on that actually, and the merge and center, and you can see that it has moved them into single cells. But I am going to highlight these, right click them, cut them, and I'm going to paste them into here. Man, now all our titles for our future table are now in the same row, which is good for us. So here's what the next step is. I am going to highlight, and how do I highlight? I'm going to start at the top left of our information. And you remember, as you're creating a table, we are fortunate enough to have titles already in our table. So we are going to highlight these, including all the tables, and I'm going to drag. I'm clicking. I have my left click, and I'm clicking, and I'm dragging all the way down and across all the information that I have, and all the way down. Bang. So here's all the data that I want to go into the table now is highlighted. You can see it's gray. It shows it with that gray. And now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to click on Format as a Table. You have a variety of options here, but I like to stick in this row here, depending on what your preferences are for color. So I am going to click. I'm going to keep it simple today, and I'm going to click on the black one. And then when I click on it, it's going to say Format as a Table, question mark. Where is the table? Where is the data for your table? So this area here is just indicating that all the cells that have been highlighted. So we don't need to mess around with this. we do want to make sure that there is a check mark in this table that says my table has headers. So all these are our headers or our titles for our different columns, and it already is check marked, so we're good to go. So I am going to click OK. Now, before I click anywhere else, I can see that the color is a little weird. I want to go to my home tab here, and I'm gonna click on this fill. This is a paint bucket spilling paint. So I'm gonna click on this and on the drop down, and I am gonna go down here. Here's a full palette of colors, but we're not gonna mess with that because I'm gonna go down to no fill. And that means that the cells will have no color in them. But because we formatted it as a table, the table itself, the black top will be there, and the font, the letters will be written in white. So I'm going to click on no fill, and we are done. We have formatted it as a table. So who cares? What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. I can go, each one of these now has the ability to filter. So I can go through each one of these SCs, and if I want to look at 6.3b, and if I click down on this drop down arrow, I have these options. So here are my options. The first thing I can do is I can list them from smallest to largest by the numbers, or I can list them from largest to smallest. Well, I am an eternal optimist, so I am going to go largest to smallest. So now in this column, it has moved the students to who have everybody that has the highest score in this column. So I can see 6.3, what was it, 6.3b, which is a supporting standard, was not an issue, a real big issue for these students at Slider. So look at all the 100% here. I've just grouped these kids, and you can see that they changed from student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then all of a sudden we jump to 10, 13. It has been arranged. So I can look at grades that way. If I want to sort by kids, I can sort them in alphabetical order. That doesn't look right. I can sort them here. I guess with the naming convention that I used, it doesn't work out necessarily well because it put them in order: student 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. But if you had them listed by last name, they would be put into alphabetical order. If I want to go through and I know that I'm looking for a particular student, I'm like, you know what? I'm worried about student 153. I can go through here and unclick all. It says select all when you initially do that, but I'm going to unclick that, and I'm going to look for student 153. I was concerned, and now it only pulls up his information here, or her information, or whoever student 153 is. I'm going to select them back all, and now it brings them all back. So here they are. What if I want to look at all my master kids? So I'm going to click on my masters, and I'm just going to unselect all, and I'm going to click on yes. And I can see all these are my kids. You can see the 3 S's. We're always striving for the 3 S's. These are all my students that mastered this test at Slider. So let me reset that. What if I want to look by teacher? I say, okay, let me see all Erica Cruz's kids. Bang. Now all the other teachers are filtered out, and I am just left with Erica Cruz, and I can see her students and how they did on each one of these standards. But you know what? That's not good enough, because I want to see Erica Cruz's kids by period. So if I go through here, I'm going to click on this drop down, and I want to see, let's see how her second period class did. I know second period, maybe it is a co-teach class. So I want to take a look at them and see where they're at. Potentially if there is maybe another content aside from math, if you were looking at a pre-AP course. So let me see, maybe period 6 is that pre-AP course. Boom, I'm done. So as these drop downs allow your teachers, your admin, your Sky coaches, anybody to look at specific areas within this data. So if I know that as a campus we did poorly on 6.3D, let me figure out which kids are those kids that struggled. We can start to target them. We can start to group them in that manner. Maybe I want to look at the kids in order from highest to lowest. So these are my kids here that we can start to filter there, and we can see them from high to low. So this is how to turn your exported report from Eduphoria into a table. I love it. This is great stuff for me. If you like this, come back for video number 4, and now we're going to show you how to make it a little bit easier to visualize, to see the stuff. It takes a little work on the front end, but it makes the it makes your groups pop out right away. So come back for video number 4.